Hey everyone, this is the very first video in our foundation course about system design. This one I'm going to make you aware about the browser, mobile devices, how they work as a client, how DNS comes into picture, what is web server, and how database comes into picture and why it comes into picture. Most of the time in this lesson you will see that you are back to your school days, but bear with me for 5-7 minutes. It's going to be interesting. So let's say you have a mobile device or you have a laptop computer and you want to interact with something that is available over the internet. I'm taking as an example about Google. So if I come to browser in its one important thing, when we say that we are interacting with the internet, that means we have something installed, we hold something like devices or laptop something, and some software is installed. That important software is a browser. So browser is actually that client that is interacting with the server. So this is the URL bar, like URL bar that you say search bar, where you come and enter the address. So this specific format is there, https www.google.com. http, that is the protocol by which the exchange and communication over the internet that happens, and rest of the things is the address of the server which we want to connect to. When we say internet, what is internet? Internet is basically web of computers connected all together. When they are connected in such a way, I want to search anything specific available on any of the computer, I can get hold of that computer address, that is IP address, and search whatever information that I want to look for that in that computer. The same thing is happening in here also. The moment I hit entered something here in the URL bar, that means I'm entering some computer address here, and the moment I hit enter, it communicated with that machine that is available over the internet somewhere in the world, and what is available, whatever I requested. So this is the page that you are seeing, google.com. that is something that I expected to come out of this one, and that is coming in here, right? Now go one step back. You said that internet is all about all the computers connected all together, and every computer I can identify with an IP address, all right, but nowhere I entered IP address, all right. I just entered this human readable website, that is google.com. So how IP address is coming into picture? Very good question. So imagine, so think of the websites, think of the services that we have over the internet available: online banking, hospitals, social networking sites, online banking. And if all of them are running on some computer system, right, and if I have to identify that computer, I have to memorize the IP address and locate whatever I am looking for that one. So you see the complexity, you see the problem in here, right? There is a lot. It is not possible actually. So what is the solution? The solution is that we can have some sort of mapping, right? So if we can map something human readable and with that IP address, that mapping, so that is where, my friend, DNS, domain name system, comes into picture. So domain name system, it's something where we have all the websites and their respective IP addresses stored there. So to get that IP address, just copy this www.com from in here and come to command prompt. There is command that is ping. Ping is the command. After that you can enter the address of the website and hit enter. It will give you the IP address. You just see pinging www.google.com. After that we have this, which is the IPv6. That is IP address basically. Earlier we used to have IPv4, but now we have IPv6 also, with 32 bytes of data. It is sending the packets, and it is also calculating the turnaround time, that how much time it took to send the packet and to receive the packet. So 50 milliseconds, 62 milliseconds, 53, 49. It is printing the statistics also, like how many it sent. It sends 4 packets, received 4, lost 0%, and approximate round trip time in milliseconds. It is giving the time that is there. So now you see this information is available in here. So we saw this theoretically, how it coming into picture. Now if I have to draw this in diagram, how can I draw this? So I have here this one available, so that I will use. So this box I will say as a client. From client, what I mean, mobile devices or browser or apps that are there. So these things that I'll consider as my client that is available. So what is the first impression is that first it will communicate with server. Alright, obviously it will communicate with server. This client, that is our browser, it needs to know the address of this one. So how it is going to get that address? That is where my DNS is going to come into picture. So just draw this in one. So first it is going to make this request. What is that information that it is going to ask for? It is going to pass this information, www dot, let's say xyz.com. Actually it is google.com that we send in here. Okay, so when we send DNS gets this information available, so it will respond with this IP address. If that is available, it will give us that IP address basically. So let's say that IP address format is 123.123.0. So this is the IP address that I got from there. So this our server, what client, it will pass that, client will look for this IP address over the internet. When it founds this information, it found that server, so server will process that request and it will respond with information that it was looking for. In this case it is a HTML page, basically index.html, the by default page that it served, that I got it in here. This is the simplest client server model that I can draw. First request that it is making to the DNS, it is getting the IP address. That IP address it is going to look over the internet. The server is going to get the request. It is going to process that request and respond with the information that client was requesting for. Right? And in this response, it can be HTML, it can be JS code, it can be data ingestion format, it can be anything based on the request that we are making. So that's all about this one, like single client server setup that it is there. What else? We saw the IP address also and all that. So let me also show you one more thing. The beautiful page that we are seeing in here, it is not that much beautiful on the backend. So let me show you the most of the integration point, all the components that server serves to the client actually. So if you go to the right click and search for this inspect page in here, you will see these calls. This is the HTML page in the backend that is there to represent this one, and this is the browser that is reading this HTML and script pages and showing this in our format that we can read it and we can have it in a useful way. One example I can show you that how statically it is there. You see the Google search. I'm feeling lucky. So if I have to change anything, any text I want to search in here, just search for that one and see how can I change this. You see this, I'm feeling lucky, it is showing in here. What I can do this one. I'm happy to found channel Codefarm for my learning. This is the text that I want to replace it with the I'm feeling lucky. So the moment I hit enter, this is the thing that I searched it, and it is going to work perfectly fine. If I search something in here, right, and click on this one, it will give me the result. That is not it, just the text form that is there. So you see, it responded with something, not sure what, okay, but we got something. So another thing, this is the HTML page that is there. Another thing that I wanted to show you, the network calls in here. There are images, media, manifest, CSS, JS. If I refresh this again in here and click here also, see all these requests to serve just this page, it is making all these calls to the server. Want to show individual ones? You see this one, headers, request URL, request method, status code, remote address, yeah, IP address. I was saying that one, right? This IP address, we can see this in the browser in itself, the remote address. Come down, you will be able to see the other google.com in here as well, this information is also. So all of the client calls you can see in here. If you see the preview, the response in here, the JSON format that I wanted to show you, yeah, you see this one, this is the JSON format that it is coming. So this is the search history, basically what I have searched in here, it is showing in a JSON format, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 in the index format here. So the point is, client is making multiple round trips to the server to serve us the useful pages, and server is responding with the HTML, JavaScript, data, and whole lot of things to serve us. Whenever we are creating account, it is sending that data, saving to that database, and serving that to us. So we have understood like how client server coming into picture. Let's see how the database is coming into picture. All right. So it's very simple. Like server is like I have written a software, I have deployed it somewhere. Server is that it's serving that one. Like if I have to write some information to the database, it's not a good idea to store that in the server. If we are storing that in a server, you can say that it's like in memory storage. It's like your laptop. Like if your laptop crashes or happens anything, your data is going to be lost, and we do not want something like this one. That is why database as an external entity, it runs separately from the server, and whenever any request is coming from the client, we process that, validate that, and then when everything is fine, we store that in a database, and database responds with the success or failure, whatever is available, whatever is there, and then server responds back to the client with the information that it like got from the database also, if it is passed, if it is saved successfully or not, so that client can take the decision accordingly. So that is how client server database coming into picture. There is a lot coming in the database also, different types of databases, which one to choose at which point of time, but the first video is complete in here. I made you aware about these things, browser, the clients that are there, DNS, and web server. Basically this is the web server that I was talking about. This is the single server setup. As the video says, single server setup, everything like all the database operations, all the business logic, UI, everything is available in this server. That is what we are called the web server. And the database, we have this in picture now, the database. We will be talking more about this one. Now what about the next video? Next video is about the scaling the server. As of now, we have initially set this up. This is running fine. It is fine with low number of user when we have limited number of requests, but when number of requests are increasing, we have to increase the load, we have to increase the server also. How we can take care of that one, we are going to talk about that in the next video. Make sure that you put any comments, any feedback that you have in the comment section of the video. That will really help me to improve this series for you guys. Okay, so that's all about this video. See you in the next one. Till then, take care. Bye bye.